Welcome back to another episode of the Me Kevin Show. Today, we're starting with Cybertruck scam. They're already beginning. It's kind of wild. We're going to start on that. Mikey is back from the Giga Texas event, so we'll get to cover some of Mikey's in-person thoughts as well as some of the really neat things about the Cybertruck. It's kind of crazy, but the stuff that circulates on Twitter about the Cybertruck. Why don't we jump right into that, actually? What did we find here? So this is on Twitter. Mikey, it's up on your screen. Christian, maybe you could throw it up here. Look at this. Tesla Cybertruck Tri-Motor Beast. $110,000 edition Fremont. So this is on Craigslist, the SF Bay Craigslist listing. Now it's unclear whether this is real or a scam. It's probably a scam, and it's interesting because it's like now the scamming is beginning, and I bet you, I really think there are going to be a lot of people who are all over this, especially since this is going viral now. But apparently, this person writes, I am selling my Cybertruck in hand due to the fact that my spouse hates it and cannot park it. What did I say to that? I think I called him a little bitch.
Yeah, that's right. That was the word. That was the word. Yep.
Anyway, yes, I picked it up. Even when you phrase yes, I picked it up in Texas. It just sounds like a scam. Everything about it just sounds like a ripoff. I picked it up in Texas at the release event and had the car transported via covered carrier to get it back to me here in Fremont. I am attempting to recover my costs and transportation. So, I mean, he's not just recovering the cost of moving the car because that wouldn't cost 10 grand. It's also probably his sales tax and his flight over there.
Possible.
So a little bit of everything involved there. Okay. I'm attempting to, Due to the amount of inquiries, there are some simple details below. It's sad to see it go. Taking offers of over $110,000. Be one of the first to have it. Think of the social media possibilities. That's true. It's a good way to market it. Okay, what's the thing that somebody highlighted here in the comments? Let's take a look at that. Well, one of the comments, Tesla Mojo had it. There he is. Yep, right there at the bottom. Look at this. So what do we got here? When you expand the listing, apparently the expanded listing is only accepting Bitcoin as the purchase of the vehicle, or of the purchase of the vehicle, with a test send of a non-refundable $10 to this link in order to be taken seriously. So in order for this guy to actually show you the Cybertruck, you have to send this Craigslist poster, $10, non-refundable, of course, first, and then you could verify the last 3 digits of your BTC Addy via email so they can reconcile that you did indeed send $10. And then they will agree to meet you. Because, yes, sending somebody $10 means you have $110,000 ready to go. I mean, I would not be shocked to see junk like this actually circulating and people fall for... Hey, I'll send you $10K right now. Let me be first in line.
Put a deposit on it. I think if someone was to actually sell their Cybertruck, they delivered. We were told it was going to be about 30, but I think 22 confirmed deliveries happened.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay.
So this is almost 5% of all Cybertrucks on sale on this Craigslist ad.
Oh!
But I feel like if you took delivery of the Cybertruck and you put it up on Craigslist, I mean, wouldn't you put it up for like 200 or 300,000?
Yeah, no kidding. Some kind of real premium. Yeah, why 10 extra? I mean, maybe he's trying to do the bidding war approach. This could be an eBay approach, right? Where you have the story and then so you list it basically market value low so that you could try to get some kind of bidding war and auction effect going. Or it's just, which it probably is, a straight up scam where what it is because they know they're listing it low and people will gladly pay 110 grand today, because if you think about it, 110K today is basically the same as what you're going to pay anyway for you to buy it. So it's like, if you could have it now, like if it was legit, it's like, well, I'll buy it. If I'm going to spend 100 on it, it's like, well, I'll get that one. You get a low VIN and it's 110 and it rolled off the line over. I mean, it's worth the 10K. So the market price is clearly in excess of 110. So I think there's a chance what happens is you get people that are like, I just sent you 5G. I'm legit. Let me see it first, to try to get the first dibs in. It's actually kind of a clever scam because, you think about it, it's like, oh, well, who's going to scam for $10? Well, nobody's going to scam for $10. That's nominal. But it's going to be the people who get into the, Okay, I'm gonna send them a deposit. Here's the 10 non-refundable. Here's another $9,990. But just please put me at the front place in line just to show I'm legit.
Yep. I'm also thinking okay, so 110,000. That's like you said. That's going to be the same price that people are going to pay anyway. Just a little bit more to make it like kind of believable. But everyone's going to see this and be like, "This is an amazing opportunity."
Yeah.
Bitcoin only. That should be a red flag right off the bat.
That's a big red flag.
It's in the Bay Area that's probably where you're going to find the most Cybertruck like potential buyers right now.
That's also true. That's where people get the money, the jobs, show it off. That's a really good point. Yeah. But I mean, if they really wanted it not to be a scam, they would have picked like Doge or something. Send payment in Doge.
I don't know if it makes a difference.
Okay.
Maybe. But even the $10, I mean, $10 from 10,000 people, that's $100,000. That's just for a Craigslist ad. That's easy.
That's an interesting point.
That's easy money.
Wow. If it went viral, which it kind of is, people are talking about it on social media. We're talking about it, and you get a bunch of people to send. Yeah, that's interesting. A lot of $10. Non-refundable. Hey guys, I said it was non-refundable. I was totally upfront.
Yeah.
Can't call me a scam if it's upfront.
This is kind of smart. Well, now that I'm reading, I also have a Cybertruck for sale.
Yes. Just mirror image that photo.
Yeah, flip it around,
flip
exactly.
it around, make it a little different. Okay, so how was the Cybertruck event? You got to go. I didn't. I had a last week.
Yeah, why'd you get that?
Well, it turns out it was either cantaloupe or pineapple that I ate from Trader Joe's Sunday night, right before. I was up all weekend filming the rest of that gold course. And then one of the lectures I had was this little thing on nutrition, and it's kind of ironic, but it was like, I'm like, hey, here are just some of the things that I like to buy at Trader Joe's or whatever. And of course, one of them gets me sick.
I'm
like
sorry.
The worst thing to get you sick. So I was pretty sick Monday morning, but my aversion to everything was the worst on Wednesday, which was Cybertruck Day. And Thursday, Friday were better. Saturday, I was able to have my first cup of coffee. Sunday, second cup of coffee. And today, I've had 2 cups of coffee.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're almost back to the usual 8.
A quarter of the way to the usual 8.
The Cybertruck event was awesome.
Yeah, tell us about it.
I had a fantastic time. There weren't that many people there, or maybe there were. Depends on what you're expecting. I want to say it was like under 1,000 people. So my hunch is like 500 people and they're plus ones.
Small event then, eh? Yeah. I think they knew it was more of, we need to put a spectacle on to social media, really, by streaming this on X and YouTube and getting people talk about it than actually having a massive crowd there. This doesn't even do like a Donald Trump rally,
Yeah, I don't know how random those lottery winners were for like the shareholders, because everyone, like I saw so many influencers, YouTubers, people on X that I recognized, all with their phones out. I don't know. It was
interesting. Okay, so and they were not referral redeemers,
right? They were the shareholder ones.
The shareholder badge. Oh, well, it wouldn't. I mean, think about it. If you're a company and you have, 50 influential shareholders who are shilling your product every day, why would you not invite them? They're like literally free marketing for you. Why not give them something back? At least the ones who aren't critical.
Yeah. Elon Musk gave you salmonella confirmed.
Elon Musk did unblock me on Twitter.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. That was really bizarre opening up Twitter this morning, and the first post was Elon. I'm like, which alt account am I in?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I had a word with him, and he said he would unblock you. He did it as a personal favor to me.
I heard you got a cyber backpack as well. Where is it, man?
Oh, it's upstairs.
Go get it.
It's upstairs.
You got to get it.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, we gotta get it.
Busy.
I'll keep the show going. That backpack is so cool. I will say that is the opposite, in my opinion, of a scam. Like, I mean, we started this out by talking about Craigslist scams. That thing's awesome. I don't know who makes it. I don't know, maybe there's a badge or something. I don't know who makes it. I don't know anything about it other than I look at it. Mikey brought it on the plane yesterday when I picked him up in Sac. I was up in Sac anyway. And this backpack is sick. Here it is. Look at this. What beast mode. TSA safe little lock on there. Handle on top. Polygon shapes. Look at that.
There's the lock side. Pop that open. I don't have a code set yet. We got a little front zipper. The whole thing is Cybertruck.
69 is ago.
Okay,
3
well,
digits,
now I have to think of another
420.
digit.
You just ruined that.
Yeah, pop the sucker open. It's got room for like laptop.
Oh, it's got partitions. Can I see that?
Yeah.
No, wait, because I didn't open it because I didn't want your undies to fall out again. Now that it's empty, wait a minute here. So you have, it's so square, which I actually like. I like how square this is because it's functional for laptops and stuff. In fact, look, I have one here. What else am I using this thing for? So, yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm shilling this product here. And I don't even know who makes it, but look how much room there is in there. That's just that pocket. Yeah, they have the laptop pocket as well. I want to show that here somewhat on camera. So you have the actual larger section here. You have a little laptop section here. You have another partition here. I mean, this is actually a fantastic backpack.
It's powered. It's got a battery spot inside, and then it plugs in.
Show that a little better here. I don't know. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so you've got, and then it looks like, yeah, you really have 3 compartments. The big back part, a little front part. You've got the little pouches, zipper up here, zipper in the back. This is cool. And then you said, what about power? There are USBs here somewhere.
Yeah, there's this on the outside, and then on the inside, it's the same thing. So you could plug up your laptop or whatever inside and charge it while it's in the bag.
Or even like a phone USB or something like that. And then there's got to be a brand on this, so like somebody can buy it. There's not. So I don't know if this is just like custom and somebody gave you a custom gift, but I have to say, this is pretty sick. I have no idea to whom it belongs or what it is. There's a C8 or CB on the back.
Cyber backpack.
Cyber backpack.
Let me see. I don't see it on the Tesla store.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a nice handle too. It's got a plastic grip on the top right here, and then rubber on the inside, so it's nice and soft on your hand. This is really an incredible device. Yeah, I'll keep that right here.
Actually, I have something in here for you.
No.
It's not for me, but...
by the way, thank your mom, seriously, for the O-Snap. That was so cool. The O-Snap I had this morning. Wait, there's another pocket here. There's another... Oh, that's the expander.
Oh, it's the expander, yeah. Somebody was a big fan of yours and made a bunch of Tesla pens and wanted you to have them.
No way. Oh, that's really cool. Oh, Tesla pens. Look at that. That's very cool. Thank you. So to whomever that is, thank you. Very cool. This is amazing. I mean, what an amazing group of people, though.
The community is amazing.
Tell everyone about that. How was it at the actual event?
Yeah, well, so I'll talk about the event, then I'll talk about the after party where I kind of met some more people. The event was really cool. We got to walk through the factory. I was sending you clips in real time, and you were doing the live stream, and I went back and watched that after. I met Sandy Monroe. That was really cool.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
So the stamping presses and everything, they were kind of set in a demo mode to just kind of show you what it would be like in theory, but they weren't actually building Cybertrucks while we were there. They were building Model Ys, though. They kept pumping those out the whole time we were there.
Oh, just the factory line was still going then?
For the Model Ys,
yeah. Okay.
The event itself, like with Elon, was pretty short.
Yeah, it seemed that way. I mean, I really think I was. Let me put it this way: I was surprised he didn't go through the pricing. You know, the Steve Jobs style presentation, and now to reveal the pricing.
Yeah,
and you introduce it. Now, the first model. This is what it costs us. Whatever, you know. This like really sell it. Because it would be interesting if he's like, look, the first ones, like I personally think it's a selling feature. Hey, the first Cybertrucks we're making, we're spending on average $200,000 or whatever per Cybertruck, and we expect to scale that, you know, down to where maybe they cost $80,000 and less over time. But anybody who buys the first Cybertrucks is actually getting the car at 50% of cost. Because it's so early, right? To me, that's a selling feature. Because when I think of like the Rivian, how beautiful it is on the inside and how much money they spend on the Rivian, I think the amount of overspending they do on the Rivian is actually a feature for buyers. You're basically getting a wedge deal of a car because you're buying something that costs substantially more to manufacture than it's worth when it's for sale. And I don't know, I see that as a feature. So I saw, you know, a few little missed opportunities. But overall, I have to say I was very, very happy with what they did. The presentation, you know, they promised to announce this year. There was a lot of doubt that this event would never happen or whether or not this event would actually happen. So Elon kept his promise on advertising. He kept his promise on the event. He kept his promise on deliveries. So the good here substantially outweighs the bad. And I'll say that the vehicle is phenomenal. You said I asked you about the black wrap.
Yes.
That's like a urethane film or whatever. You mentioned that it still showed some greasy fingerprints, because I thought maybe that would prevent fingerprints, but it still did.
Yeah, I would have thought the same. They looked extra greasy, so I don't know. I feel like Franz was like taking a little snack break, eating some chips or something before he touched the truck again. But it did look greasy, but the actual wrap itself in the sunlight looked so good.
Yeah, and see, you know what? I think people who are complaining about the fingerprints have a point on one hand because of refrigerators, but let's be clear. Every regular car that's not white, every regular non-white car that you wash is basically dirty within 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel that way at least. It's the dust that comes on them. It's the sprinklers. It's so hard to keep a car clean unless you garage it. You really have to garage it, and so I don't know that matters so much. And honestly, I kind of think it looks a little better with some like life on it. Some
It's
dirt.
a truck.
Yeah, man. Like use it. Yeah, I've gotten so like I used to be very perfectionist with everything that I did, and everything had to be clean and 100%. And I still have a lot of that perfectionisms, but I've definitely scaled back a lot from like extreme to slightly less extreme. For me, that's a big deal. And like I don't care anymore if my car's dirty or like my son scratches my car seats, or like I curb a tire or whatever. It's like I got enough going on now to where it's like those little things used to really upset me. Like it was a Tesla story actually. Lauren has her car, because it was drizzling, slightly backed into the garage. Only slightly backed in so she wouldn't get wet. I drive home with the Tesla Model X in 2017. She had her car for like 9 months. 2015 Sienna we bought in the middle of 2016 because they had shortages on. Anyway, so I drive up to the garage. The garage opener auto pings, closes the garage door on her, scratches up the back of her car.
No.
Yeah. And so I'm like that. Welcome to having new things, you know?
Yeah.
Same thing that happened to my Tesla door that opened as the garage door was opening and the sensor didn't see it. Both of those scratches are still there because I'm just like, I don't care.
No point. And those things always happen like right when you get the car
Yeah.
too. It's never going to happen years later, but you're going to scratch it on the first month.
So I look at it now and I'm like, see, I haven't had a single scratch since.
That's how it goes.
You know, it's like, get your one scar. And then you're good.
The Cybertruck, so it's going to come in that black one. It's also coming in like a matte or like satin white color too.
That I think is, did you see that there?
Not in person, no.
See, that would be nice, the white one. I think I might go for the white just to minimize that maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I don't have to get the car washed, see, the best car wash is no car wash. See, that's like an Elon line. All right, what else you got?
Okay, Cybertruck event was really cool. The performance of the truck was insane. I'll go over some specs in a second, but some of the most revolutionary things, I think, like a lot of people were talking about, the stainless steel unibody construction and some things like that. For me, the craziest things were 800-volt architecture, which EVs are on 400-volt architecture. So that's increased power means faster charging. It means better performance for the truck. And the efficiency of the electricity inside is going to be a lot better too.
Yeah, I think, one of the things when we think of higher voltage that we should consider is, why is all of Europe, actually much of the world, on a 240-volt system? See, here in America, we use 120-volt outlets. Some people call them 110. 120 is really what it's supposed to be, just like they say 220 when it's supposed to be 240. It doesn't matter. It's roughly the same. So America, 120, call it, 240 Europe. What's the difference? Well, the difference is the cabling we have to use in America is twice as thick. Mm-hmm. So it's twice as much copper as what you need in Europe. Now, you get less of a shock if you zap yourself with 120 compared to 240. So it is safer to have a lower voltage. But in terms of efficiency and the way they're mapping out the cabling, which you have written here, the 48-volt architecture with Ethernet cables, and using essentially one Ethernet run as opposed to 30 Ethernet runs, it's brilliant. It's all of those little things. That is Elon's signature.
Yeah.
That's where Elon, like, people still get mad at me. They're like, but Kevin, you say you like Elon, but then you say he shouldn't be the CEO. Right. I actually, like, both of those things could be true. I think Elon is so perfect behind the scenes. like making those decisions, the commentary on the design, the technology, the engineering. I don't think he's a presenter, and a CEO should be a face. And again, I'm not here to like double down on this argument. Like, I love Elon, don't get me wrong, but he is so good at these things, and this is what shines through. But I think that's also where the Tesla community is so strong. It kind of does that branding almost for him. Like what? We've made Tesla ads. There are other people who make Tesla TV commercials. I don't know if we inspired them or what, but it's exciting. So I don't know. What else you got?
Yeah, you mentioned the 48-volt architecture too. That's for the low voltage stuff, all the auxiliary
Speakers
stuff.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's usually 12 volt on a car. So with 48 volt, way fewer cables. That's the big one. And again, it's going to be more efficient. There's going to be a lot more technologies that it can support, including the steer-by-wire, which is the third and last thing that I thought was really impressive. I know Toyota and Lexus have been talking about doing this for a long time, but basically it's all electronic. There's no steering column. So with steer-by-wire, you get a lot of really, really cool features.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. So maybe you can help me understand that, because planes have fly-by-wire.
Yep.
So Elon gets a lot of inspiration from planes. So when you change the throttle in your car and you kind of scroll the wheel up, that's just like the autopilot clicker on a plane.
Sure, yeah.
It's just like that. The yoke, plane.
Yeah.
Then you've got what's an autopilot? The phrase autopilot comes from aviation, and he used to fly, so he knows. Fly-by-wire is usually larger planes. It's all fly-by-wire. You turn the wheel, and it's a computer that's inputting that on the rudder or essentially the ailerons or whatever. So how does this function? Like, what is the benefit in a car? Because I think, okay, well, if there's a power glitch, you lose all your steering. But then I think that's true even if there's a power glitch now. Whereas I think, like your original Roadster, your engine dies. There is no power steering anyway. You're literally.
It's all the same. It's all direct anyway.
It's all mechanical. Yeah.
So with this one, yes, if it fails, you're screwed. Right? You can't turn.
Yeah.
That's the same as in a plane. If fly-by-wire fails, like plane can't turn, plane can't operate anymore. Yeah. A lot of modern cars have like the accelerator is by wire, and they've been talking about adding brake-by-wire too.
Really?
So
that's scary. Brake-by-wire. I don't know how I feel. Why do I feel like that's scary?
Because like if it fails, you're screwed.
We're so used to the mechanical element, or like I pull the e-brake, I'm literally compressing or expanding the brakes or whatever.
And that was the talk when planes were adding fly-by-wire. It's like, hey, at least with the mechanical hydraulic system, if everything fails, you could still muscle your way to turn the plane.
Exactly.
Fly-by-wire has never failed, ever.
Wow,
ever.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So it will suck if it happens, but if it's like a 1 in a trillion type event, everything has a chance of failure, but that has never failed in the sky.
Wow. Yeah, somebody here says, handling is better with drive-by-wire. Much more precise at lower speed and safer at high speed. Really?
Better precision, better control. And in the case of the Cybertruck, you also have the rear wheels also turn.
Like 10%, 10-15%, something like that.
It's actually fun. If you're going under 40 miles an hour, the back wheels will turn the opposite direction. So that way you're basically reducing the length of the
turning radius.
Yes, because it's almost like the axles are closer in theory.
Yeah.
If you're going over 40 miles an hour, the back wheels still turn, but they go the same direction as the front wheels.
See, I get lost on that.
It's almost like a crab crawl from lane to lane. Like instead of a twist where you just kind of glide to the side.
Oh, that is interesting. Yeah, because you're just slowly like accreting over almost. Interesting. How fascinating. So, but why does anybody care for this? Like, so I put my Elon mindset on for a moment. Because I really think about everything he does, and I think, okay, why this and not that? That sounds like it's taking away margin.
Yeah, that's definitely one.
So the benefit needs to outweigh the pain in margin, because like why does the Tesla Model S, back when it was a $130,000 car, Plaid, which now it's like 90 or whatever, but why did it not have doors that opened itself, the front doors, like the self-presenting doors, like the Model X Plaid? It should have. I didn't know that. I ended up getting the S Plaid, and then I gave my dad my black X to ride and drive around, and he loves it. But he has the self-presenting doors, and I don't. I'm like, what the heck? And the first thing I thought was margin.
It might, for sure. With this, I think the R&D might take a little bit to pay off, but you actually have, first of all, reduced mechanical complexity, and you have fewer parts. You don't have you don't have the steering column. You don't have all these other parts.
So you're actually removing more parts.
And in addition to that, because you don't have the steering column, you're making much more room in the cabin space.
Oh, really?
It takes up less room.
Interesting.
If you actually see the trunk of those trucks, they're very, very, very short.
Okay.
In addition to that, I also think like he's kind of aiming everything towards fully autonomous one day, and this definitely helps with fully autonomous because instead of having a computer turn the wheel, you just have or like turn the steering column and turn the wheels. You just have the computer turn the wheels.
That's true. I mean, theoretically, you just need a relay, or your computer chip could just reside where the turning wheels are, basically. And then, okay, we're turning. You don't need to go. Let's move an actual physical cable between the two. I think it's so confusing that they call it drive-by-wire or steer-by-wire when there's
get rid
actually
of the wire.
You get rid of the wire. I mean, I guess it's like an electronic communication wire, but you get rid of the actual like hydraulic infrastructure. That's very interesting. Anyway,
there's also like I especially experience this with the Roadster. If I go fast enough, everything starts to vibrate. You can filter out all kinds of feedback like vibration with steer-by-wire, and then you can even add other feedback if you wanted to, like I don't know, whatever. Like you can add intentional vibration if you want. If something's bad, like if your tire blows, like you can maybe give a sensation, like a tactile sensation. You can do whatever you want with that. It's almost like a video game controller at that point.
Wow. Okay. Custom vibrations coming to your steering wheel soon.
So the event was cool. I left, and then I got invited to an after party.
Yeah.
The after party was pretty cool.
You saw Omar there, and Sandy Monroe.
Sandy Monroe was there.
Yep.
He was enjoying a couple drinks.
Hell yeah.
And then we went to actually an after party too. But that's a story for the other pod.
See, I wish I could have been there. Like, I could get down with that.
I wish you were there too,
man. Yeah, that would have been fun.
I had never met Omar before. Homar's catalog, right? So that was the first time.
Yeah, he's great.
And that's when I really got to hang out with a lot of the people, like these early Tesla investors and Tesla. They were so cool. They were so nice and really welcoming. One of them gave you all those pens.
Yeah, that's so awesome. I love that. It's a good community. Okay, what else here? So, did we hear anything else about the towing? Because I think that's the big thing. Nobody's really in the public tested this towing yet. I want to see that fuel economy in tow, because I think towing is very practical for many different industries. Well, certainly if you have a boat or ATVs for recreation, but also for a lot of different trades. I mean, you make your vehicles so much more functional. The two problems I see, though, is, well, number one, battery, but number two, autopilot. Autopilot right now doesn't work on tow mode, which is lame. Like, that would almost kill wanting to tow for me. I wanted to, when I got my Model X, they didn't do a standard in 2017, a standard tow hitch. And I said, I want to add on a tow hitch. They're like, yeah, no problem. We'll order it for you. It's been 6 years.
Wow.
I still have not gotten my tow hitch. I've stopped asking too, but I've asked so many times for it, and so I just gave up. But then I realized a few years in, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not going to have autopilot anyway, and I use this so much. Why would I want tow mode? It just ruins the whole purpose of having FSD.
I'm really curious with tow mode. So 11,000 pounds of tow capacity is the maximum for the long range, but it's the same for the Cyber Beast, which is the top trim, and it's the same for Rivian's top trim. So I'm starting to wonder, is 11K like an artificial limitation for EVs? Like, is it a law? Is that the most they can market?
Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah, do you hit like a freight limitation at some point or whatever? Good question. I don't know the answer to that.
I'm not a truck guy.
Yeah, I'm I'll GPT that one live. We'll let you know what GPT says.
Because I know other trucks, like I think the Fords, they can go up to like 15,000 pounds maybe.
Oh, well, okay, so that's not that.
But all the EVs are capping at 11,000 that I've seen, and that's where my curiosity is.
Okay, yeah, well, we'll have to research that one. All right, what else we got? Barrons was pissed.
Barrons did not like the truck at all.
Barrons, I usually like Barrons. The problem is, it's all like a Dow company, right? It's like the Wall Street Journal, like they're all together. Well, it's sort of like the Fox News Rupert Murdoch kind of guy, right? So they all kind of sit together. And remember, Elon is a big fan of supporting Tucker and free speech and Tucker on X. So part of me always wonders when you get like the Wall Street Journal or Fox or Barrons pooping on Elon, is there like a broader narrative that's being put? I don't know, but I go in with a little bit of the sus. That's it. We'll see. What do you got in the Barrons?
We can even talk some conspiracy at the end of the pod too. Here's the Barrons article. I actually have it on the screen. It says the reaction to Tesla's Cybertruck was, well, meh. And they said that it was a little pricey and doesn't go quite as far in a charge as people had hoped. And that part's true, right? The range is a little bit shorter. They do have range extenders, which are believed to be $15,000-$16,000 once they actually start selling. And it's like a battery you add to the back of the bed of the truck, and it increases your range up to, what was it, like 450, 480?
It's like another 100 miles. Like you get a third more. But the thing's like a 400 or 500 pound pack expected to retail for $16,000 that you have to have installed at a service center. I wish they would have made it removable. Now, I was concerned in the first Cybertruck video that I made, how is anybody going to get it in? It's going to be so heavy because, you know, a 100 kilowatt battery pack is like 1,000 pounds. So another third would be like 300. Well, turns out it's like 400 pounds. So I was thinking maybe they can do like portions, like you stack 3 together, but then you're going to have so many connectors, and then if they're not watertight, you're just going to cause a fire, they're going to corrode, the batteries are going to get ruined. So it kind of makes sense that they have to get installed by a service center, but that's also extremely important. Inconvenient. I don't know where the word important came from. It's extremely inconvenient.
Yeah, I was hoping it'd be something you could like add on when you're doing a road trip, but removing when you actually need to use the bed. It sounds like you really have to commit to one and then go to a service center if you want to get it removed or add it back on.
You have to commit for a while. But it's nice to have that option, because if you can have that option of, hey, we're going to go on a road trip for the next month. We're going to go glamping or whatever with that thing. What is it? The tent. They have a word for that tent they have in the back, which they don't have the window that goes down. We were talking about that to hopefully heat the back. However, you have the plug in the back, which the amperage on that would be more than enough to cover 1,500 watts for a little space heater. So you'd be okay with a space heater anyway. But anyway, people are going to buy that. I think people, especially because people are going to finance it.
So, if you add it to the beginning, like when you're first checking out with the truck, you finance the whole thing.
You're just going to pay for that $16,000 over 7 years, the life of the car loan, except you're going to depreciate a whole bonus chunk of it up front. You know, you add that in, you're going to be depreciating $37,000 or whatever. So you're probably cash out day one, which is crazy.
Actually, in the comments, two things. One, I'm seeing one of those people that I met in the Tesla community. What's up, Xander?
No way. What's up?
But also, somebody made a good point about drive-by or steer-by-wire, is that it's going to be easy to do a right-hand drive configuration if you want. Like, it's easy for them to just install the steering wheel on the other side and ship it to Australia or wherever else.
Is that hard to switch otherwise?
It's a lot of parts. Like, you basically have to build
because you're rearranging the car.
Whereas in this, there's nothing to rearrange. There's no column.
Oh, from a manufacturing point of view. I never thought about that.
I hadn't either until I saw the comment.
People drive on the right side?
In some weird, savage parts of the world, I guess so.
Okay, so Barrons, I mean, did they have any good point?
Well, they had one nice thing to say, and that's they mentioned that the battery, like the wattage of the battery, the kilowatt hours of the battery compared to the range does prove that the Tesla battery is more efficient than any of the trucks in the competition.
Wow.
That's one nice thing to say.
That's very good. They're the 4680s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's great. This is battery day coming to reality. And see, that's the Elon I like. The nerdy engineer Elon, who's just so brilliant about all of these other things. Like, why do we need rare earth metals? I guarantee you that came out of his mouth at some point, because as we heard the last battery day, turns out we don't. We don't need rare earth metals in our cars, in our batteries, or our engines. And so Elon and Tesla are going to get rid of rare earth minerals. Now, that tanked MP Materials by like 50%, because that's all they do. But again, that's Elon for you. So that's a good thing, though. It's innovative. It's fantastic. Doing more with less rare things. So that's fantastic. A big fan of that.
Here they have one thing that I strongly disagree with, though.
Yes.
So it's on my screen. It says, let's face it, the Cybertruck is not going to stand out against competition on performance metrics, to the exception of the Beast. Basically saying that the competition is a lot better if you discount the Beast, but
I don't think so. The Ford Mach-E or the Ford Lightning at a similar price. Oh,
here's what I've got. This is comparing the $80,000 versions of the Cybertruck, the Rivian, and the Ford Lightning, right? So these are all within like $100 of $80,000. So all of them are eligible for the tax credit, but the Rivian's only eligible for half. So if you count the starting price, including that one's already more expensive off the bat. The range, the Rivian still wins out by a little bit. It's 352 miles versus the 340 for the Cybertruck. However, the Cybertruck can have a battery extension, which actually looks like the Rivian does too, but 410 miles is the cap with the extension, whereas 470 is what Tesla is telling us it's going to be. The Rivian's got a bigger battery, which again, that's part of what proves that Tesla is more efficient with their battery tech. And the 800 volt architecture versus 400 volt, I'm assuming that's going to mean faster charging as well, which seems to be the case. The 350 kilowatt hour charging capacity with the V4 superchargers versus only 220 with the Rivian and 155 with the Ford. Bidirectional power, we haven't really talked about this yet, but they basically implemented the whole vehicle to grid charging, so to speak.
Yeah, their vehicle to home, I think, is where they're starting with. Grid should be coming. I don't know that anybody's doing grid yet, but honestly, you don't want to do vehicle to grid, because the utilities are very smart. As soon as people started rolling their meters back and sending more power to the grid with their solar panels, and they were actually making, 11, 12 cents per kilowatt hour. Now what most of the solar utilities have done, or the electrical utilities have done, is they've said, all right, we'll sell it to you for 11 cents at a minimum to, say, 40 or 50 cents during peak hours. If you roll it backwards, we're only going to give you like 2 cents per kilowatt hour, because we don't actually want you to just dump electricity on us and try to arb us, basically. So they've really disincentivized that, and what that's done is it's incentivized people to buy batteries.
Yes.
Because rather than roll back the meter, which you don't want to do, you fill up your battery and then blow your battery during expensive periods of time. So the vehicle to home infrastructure is brilliant. Not only is it going to sell a lot more Powerwalls, I almost guarantee anybody who buys that $110,000 Cybertruck, or $100,000 Cybertruck, I'm thinking about the scam from the beginning of the video. That's $110,000.
Nobody buy that.
Please don't send Bitcoin. So yeah, if you look at a $100,000 vehicle, I wouldn't be surprised if you get a huge take rate on the extended range and a Powerwall for your home. Like, the take rate will be substantially higher for the Cybertruck compared to a Model Y, 3, S, or X. Let's say the take rate for a Powerwall is 2% on all the other cars. It'll be 20% on the Cybertruck, which is literally pure profit for Tesla.
Yeah.
They print money with the Powerwalls, dude. They sell them for $8,500.
Yeah.
The cost of those is like $2,000.
They can't even make enough, too. That's the funny part.
Well, that's why they can have the price so high.
Yeah.
When you have shortages, you can ask whatever you want. People still buy it. Now, the Cybertruck is another reason people will just throw money away on the Powerwalls. Don't get me wrong. They're great. They're a fantastic utility, and they will actually you can actually make a logical case for getting a Powerwall, because it will pay for itself over, probably with these interest rates, 5 to 6 years. It'll pay for itself if you're a high energy use house.
And you could charge other EVs too, so not that EVs break down very often, like run out of electricity, but
it's a cool perk, but it's kind of weird. It's like, am I going to get dispatched to go rescue someone in their EV? It's a call tow truck, bro.
It'll be cool to start seeing Tesla service bringing Cybertrucks, though.
That is true. And I wonder if they'll use those, because right now I think they're using Mercedes Metruses. Can you pull up a picture of the Mercedes Metris, if you don't mind?
How do you even spell that?
METRIS. Or they might be using the NV300 from Nissan. But they're basically the smaller cargo vans. It might be the NV300 they're using. Can we throw that up when you're ready, Mikey, on screen here? Christian, we can throw that up. This is what a lot of the service trucks are using. It's either a Metris or the NV300. Try that one in Google. I think it's the NV300.
Let me do like a Tesla service van.
Yeah. Let's just look at what it actually is.
I always thought it was a Ford, but I guess I could be wrong here.
I mean, it could be anything. It could be Chevy van, any of these vans. What is that? I don't know what that is.
I think it might say Transit on the side, which would be a Ford.
Could be. There's a smaller Transit as well. You don't have the high roof, right? And you have the shorter. But the point is, I don't think you can fit all the tools you have in a Cybertruck. The Cybertruck trucks are not as much of a utility as a van is. Now, people get mad when I say that because America is truck culture. But when you need to carrying utility, the vans win.
I'm almost positive Tesla's going to be making a van very shortly, too.
Oh, they will kill it. They will basically bankrupt Mercedes.
Wow.
Because Mercedes, I mean, look, you have to realize the import taxes on these German cars when they come over here, they're insane. You're probably realistically adding $10,000 to $15,000 for a Beamer. Like, you want a $50,000 Beamer? It's $35,000 in Europe. And it's all of the import taxes. They're absolutely insane. Mercedes Sprinter, actually, to try to get around some of that, they will send the Sprinter van in 2 pieces to America, and they'll reassemble it in like North Carolina or whatever.
Made in America.
Yeah, exactly. It's like what? Just because it saves so much money to be competitive to the Ford Transit, but Tesla will crush both of them, and I will buy HouseHack will just have 10 of those things.
Let's go.
But I don't know if I could do that with the Cybertruck. It's not going to have the utility for what our purposes are.
I want to just finish flying through this real quick.
Yeah. Go.
To compare the long range Cybertruck that I have on my screen here versus the Rivian and the Ford. So horsepower, Tesla kills it with 600 horsepower. 0 to 60 speed, which I know is not the most important thing in a truck, but still they kill it on that one too. Top speed, it's the same all across the board. Sure, the drag coefficient is actually a little bit better with the Rivian, but if anything, that even goes to show exactly how efficient these Tesla batteries are. That even with that, they still go further.
Yeah.
They beat it in weight. It's a lightweight vehicle. Well, maybe not the Ford, but they beat Rivian in weight by like 500 pounds. Payload capacity, 2,500 pounds versus the other two can't even do 2,000 pounds. The Rivian does also cap at 11,000 towing capacity, but the Ford only caps at 7,700 pounds. In cargo space, the Tesla kills it. It has almost twice the cargo capacity as the Lightning. So the steer-by-wire, which the others don't have. The actual size of the bed is right on par with everything else. Adaptive air suspension, although I think they all have that. But the point is, like, I don't understand Barron's argument that, like, the non-cyber beast can't compete.
You know, all they're doing is it's really what they're trying to do is they're trying to complain basically about inflation. The reality is inflation happened, okay? Like, we have to just get over that. Like, here's the thing. If inflation has been at least, let's call it 18, 19% since 2021, a house that's sold for $650,000 is now worth $767,000. Nobody wants to feel that because it sucks, because now not only is it more expensive, but interest rates are, 4 times what they were. But it's the same thing with the damn cars. They're coming out now more expensive, the new stuff, because they have to be, A, but B, the rates are so much higher. So the affordability is complete trash. But listen to this. I just heard that Ford is now saying the Mach-E will no longer be eligible for the federal tax credit starting January 1, 2024.
They're screwed.
So now the Mustang Mach-E, which was like one of the few competitors to Tesla that's actually pure EV here in America, now they don't even get the tax credit anymore because guess what? Sourcing too much from China.
That's rough.
How is Tesla sourcing less from China than Ford is? It just shows you how ahead Tesla is.
Tesla's honestly at least the made in America Teslas, that's the most American car you can buy right now.
And that's what drives me so nuts about the Democratic Party. And look, people know this. I'm a registered Democrat. I ran as a Democrat in California for governor because I thought maybe I could try to save this party, right? Yeah, there's a little bit of work to do.
Big dreams there, yeah.
Yeah, big dreams. Hey, one can dream. But look, I mean, most people know I try to be so in the middle. I think I rubber band to the 49-51 all the time, and I love things on both sides, and I hate things on both sides. But the point is, as far as the Biden administration, I think it's just, frankly, I don't think anybody can say it's not wrong that Biden basically ices Tesla. When they had their EV day, it's GM is leading the EV revolution. What the hell? Yeah, it's that. You're almost just going to lose Democrat votes because of that, because now you're just straight up gaslighting them. It's kind of... People don't like being gaslit.
Nope.
Let's just leave it at that.
There was a change.org petition to get Biden to just publicly say Tesla. Don't even have to put it in context. Just say Tesla. Looking at the master plan part 3 for Tesla, I have this on my screen. This is obviously we have the S3, X, and Y. We have the Semi. We have the Cybertruck. And over on the right, it seems to imply this is possibly the Model 2, as we've been calling it, but who knows what they'll call it, the really cheaper one. And then this looks to be a van. So this should be like the next 2 vehicles they're working on. One will be a van.
Cargo and passenger. That's the way to... So the left is both cargo and passenger, right? The right's probably, yes, the Model 2. I don't think you'll get away with the 2-car in America, but probably, 2-door. 2-door car. 2-car door?
2-door car.
2-door car.
Now it sounds funny to me too.
Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure that's
it
right.
just sounds weird.
It'll sell in Europe it'll be so popular.
That's
in
true.
Europe.
That'll actually sell around the world because think in the Indian markets, Chinese markets, although it might still be too expensive for those markets.
They need
because
those
they're driving
or whatever, the little trike things.
Yeah, you're talking like $5,000 cars.
Yeah,
that's true. You're not competing against that. But a cargo on the left, that doesn't look like a full-sized high-top Sprinter van to me. It looks like a normal-sized Sprinter van. Not the one you could stand in and not the extended length version. Just a regular, I think it's the 140 wheelbase or whatever, standard length, standard height cargo van for passengers. and the passenger van and the cargo van. Passenger van would probably hold about 12 people and have trunk space for everybody's suitcases. That's a game changer right there. If you can get that vehicle out of the door with 300 miles of range, 12 passengers, and cargo space for all their luggage, you become the best-selling cargo van to ever exist. Like, people won't even buy Toyota Siennas anymore. The mommy van will be that.
That's the goal.
You know what my dream was? Christian, we're gonna have to punch in on this. You know what my dream was? To convince Lauren to buy a Sprinter van. It has been impossible.
She loves that Sienna, huh?
Yeah, until she started showing up at preschool and kindergarten and first grade with the kids. The other moms have Sprinter vans.
Oh,
now Lauren wants
mom
a Sprinter
competition. Van. Yeah,
it's happening. Oh man,
start thinking about what color you want, Lauren. Okay. One more thing before we move on. I thought this was hilarious just to have you react to this little meme. This is Elon Musk at the Cybertruck event when people start asking about the 500-mile range and the $40,000 price tag.
Go f yourself. But go f yourself. Is that clear?
That's it.
You know, it's the community, man. It's so good. It's so good. I really love it. I think it's fantastic. It's just brilliant. Oh, it's very good. It's exciting. You know, I feel this kind of excitement is the excitement that I felt around the launch of like the App Store with the iPhone. It's such an early game for Apple. I mean, we're talking 15 years ago when the App Store came out. The App Store is only 15 years old. It's a teenager. And that excitement was really just the beginning for Apple. You didn't have iPads when the App Store came out. It took another 2 years to get an iPad. Everybody's got an iPad now.
I've never had an iPad.
Yeah, okay, green texture. Maybe we'll have to get you an iPad so you can finally be blue. You're the only one. We sent group messages, and it's like, should we include Mikey or not? Because it's going to turn the whole message green.
You guys should all just get Androids. It'll be easier than convincing me to get an iPhone.
Well, we could just text you, and it'll be green. It'll be the same. We don't have to go to Android.
That's true. All right, well, then get me an iPad for Christmas.
All right, what's next?
Okay, let's actually skip right to gold and Bitcoin and a little bit of Peter Schiff.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh my gosh, Peter. Okay, yeah, let's hear it.
Peter. Well, so gold surged to a record price, $2,135, and it's sold off a little bit since then. And there's a lot to say about this. So for one, the analyst reviews that I've been reading, they all suggest that gold's going to maintain at least $2,000 throughout the next year, maybe even go up, citing geopolitical uncertainty, the uncertainty with the U.S. dollar, and then possible interest rate cuts. But I've got a couple of tweets or X posts from Peter Schiff that I wanted to show you.
Yeah, grab those. You know, what's interesting about the dollar decline, what there is going to be an argument of is usually, here's what happens. You have to kind of understand currency is relative. So here's how it works. If inflation is higher in developing countries, and interest rates are going to stay higher for longer in other areas, and inflation is, let's say, cured here. I'm just saying, I'm not forecasting, but let's just say it's cured here. Then as rates come down in America, the dollar should weaken because a strong dollar right now, the strong dollar we have, is really propped up by very high interest rates with basically zero risk. Having a U.S. Treasury is essentially zero risk. Like, one of our team members was discussing how much money Tether, like throwing $90 billion into U.S. Treasuries because it's basically a risk-free 5%. They are printing money on treasuries right now. It's brilliant. But as interest rates come down, that becomes less attractive in the dollar. So you have to buy other currencies to get that yield. Or you try to shoot ahead of the running deer and you go, well, some people aren't going to be comfortable buying another currency, so they'll buy either Bitcoin or gold because they're afraid of the other geopolitical risk, so they'll go to those two. And that could be one of the reasons we're seeing a push in both Bitcoin and gold, which I think Tesla still holds some of their BTC.
As far as I know, yeah. I think they do.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people were trying to convince Peter Schiff here in the comments, is that like it's Bitcoin also, but he's not really a fan of Bitcoin.
Of course not. Yeah. No. I mean, remember, I went to Peter's house and then I went to dinner with him, and the most remarkable, you were there. That's right, you were with me. The most remarkable part about that dinner was what?
Oh, him arguing with his son about Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It was just across the table. Like, first of all, like immediately like humanize him for me. Like, oh, Peter Schiff is he's a dude, right?
Yeah,
like he's
yeah,
just a
yeah.
dude. This is family stuff. But it was just so funny to watch that happen over the table. I'm just over here like eating my mashed potatoes or whatever, like watch the Bitcoin gold, and it's like, holy crap, it felt like a fever dream.
It was amazing.
I loved it.
Yeah, his son's brilliant, like absolutely brilliant. And it's not to say Peter's not, but like for his age, Peter's son is brilliant, and he is 100% Bitcoin maximalist.
Yeah.
Like he hears real estate and he vomits a little bit.
So Peter Schiff says here, I have this on my screen. He says, and mind you, this first tweet is from November 28th, so this is before gold hit the record number. He goes, once gold hits or takes out $2,100, I think there will be no more resistance left. Then $1,000 milestones will start falling like dominoes. The US dollar is toast. As inflation heats up, to avoid getting burned, the world will turn to gold as the most viable alternative. Obviously, it went down a little bit since then. Actually sold off kind of quickly, like it looked like a little cliff. But his opinion on that is overnight gold surged to a record. Here's the 21.35, but now it's trading $90 lower. The rally likely caused some speculative longs to exit and shorts to enter, but I'm sure the shorts will cover up on this pullback, and the real buyers who drove the price above 2K will push gold to new highs. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think Peter hates the Fed. He hates money printing. He's very Austrian economist in view. And this is, let's go back to real currency, stop money printing, and stop basically fiat. Until something massively breaks, which it might happen under the level of debt the United States has. I don't know that that'll happen in our lifetime, but I do think at some point that will happen. At some point, we will go back to a real form of currency. But again, I don't think we have to worry about that in our lifetimes. So again, that's my opinion. I just don't see that explosion as near. There should be a lot more red flags than we have right now. So again, I agree with Peter in spirit. I just think, if we'd all be living to 500, Peter will have to, sing the same song here for another 300 years. Mm-hmm. But eventually he'll be right.
That's fair. Yeah, I got nothing to add to that.
Yeah,
that's a fair assessment.
Okay.
Well, Bitcoin has been having a run just while we're talking about gold and Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So I have a tweet to show you. This is from the president of El Salvador. You would imagine he has something to say, right? He's probably his first tweet in the last 2 years. He goes, El Salvador's Bitcoin investments are in the black. After literally thousands of articles and hit pieces that ridiculed our supposed losses, all of which were calculated based on Bitcoin's market price at the time. With the current Bitcoin market price, if we were to sell our Bitcoin, we would not only recover 100% of our investments, but also make a profit of over $3 billion USD as of this moment. Of course, we have no intention of selling. This has never been our objective. We're fully aware that the price will continue to fluctuate in the future. This does not affect our long-term strategy. Nonetheless, it's important that the naysayers and the authors of those hit pieces take back their statements. The responsible thing to do would be for them to issue retractions, offer apologies, or at the very least, acknowledge that El Salvador is now yielding a profit, just as they repeatedly reported that we would incur losses. If they consider themselves true journalists, they should report on this new reality with the same intensity they reported the previous one. Stay tuned. And then here's the chart. The little green dots here show you every moment that they bought. So it felt like buying the dip, or at least local dips in a lot of cases. And then you can see their moving average over here.
It's actually not bad. They hit lows on some of those like really well. Look at the middle ones.
Here. These were all great.
It's actually a very common psychology. The first four, see how close those are grouped together, to think the dips aren't going to last or get worse, that they won't, right? And so people spend a lot of their money in the first dips, and then they don't have anything left for the later dips. That's extremely common. But I have to say, if I had to talk timing, that looks like A+. I mean, minus some of the upper ones, obviously, on the initial dips, but they clearly buy mostly on red days. Maybe that second dot and first and second dot all the way on the left, but I don't know the rest of the chart over there. Maybe that was a local dip, right? That could have been coming off a little bit of a higher period there, but not bad.
2021. These were unprecedented times. This is Bitcoin's peak right here. So they had no perspective of
exactly.
But I think this was A+. And then you could see over here, finally, the actual average has now surpassed their cost basis.
Yeah, no, it's great. Bitcoin is once the SEC needs to get through the regulation of Coinbase, because I don't think you can actually have an ETF approval for any cryptocurrency until you have a true custodian. Because the whole point of an ETF is that it's safe. You can't have an ETF without a qualified, licensed, regulated custodian, because you could destroy the entire ETF ecosystem, which could just destroy the economy. I mean, quite frankly, everything will tumble. Every index fund, everything has problems if there's doubt in custody. You have a run on the stock market, you're screwed. Like literally screwed. It would be a disaster. I don't even know that the Fed could fix it. So you need to have you cannot violate the trust of custody in the ETF system. You can't have an FTX happen basically across the ETF world, because that would mean everything is not to be trusted, which I'm not saying it's not rigged. Don't get me wrong. That is different. There are definitely things that are rigged in Wall Street that make it more challenging to make money as a smaller investor, right? Whether it's scale or speed of high frequency traders or whatever it is, or just frankly knowledge of how the markets work, the capital markets, and that's okay. Like people should understand the definition of dilution, and what a gift it is when somebody can invest at a 1-to-1 valuation. Right? Most people don't understand, and that's okay. But my point is, you can't get an ETF approval here, I don't believe, until you have a clear custody chain, a chain of custody and a custodian. Coinbase should be that custodian. I don't know how they can get a green light from the SEC to have, to basically be the custodian of ETFs if they're in a lawsuit with the SEC for being an illegal exchange. So I need that lawsuit to end for me personally to feel confident ETF's coming.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah.
I saw that you reacted to this tweet here by Kathy Wood. U.S. Space Force major urges, and we can throw this on the screen, urges Defense Department to adopt Bitcoin as an offset strategy. Lori suggests that Bitcoin and its underlying, this is proof of work technology, could serve as a contemporary tools in an offset strategy, potentially redefining the landscape of cyber warfare and defense. And this was 7 hours ago as of her tweet, which was last night.
Yeah. What I say to that, like, OMG or wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
You give her a wow.
Yeah. So,
like.
So there are a couple things at play here. One, anyone who's a major in the military, there's a political aspect once you get brass. And a political aspect means, hey, if you get, positive attention for forward thinking, it can kind of help you get some promos. So there's part of me that wonders how much of that is like posturing and how much of that is like really a thought. There were rumors back in 2011 that the CIA was interested in using crypto for, preventing wars. There was apparently a Henry Ford article back 104 years ago or whatever about Henry Ford wanting to use an energy-based currency rather than fiat, fake, paper money, to back then we were still backed by the gold standard.
Yeah.
But either way, it was still, trust in this paper money, and you don't know what's really happening in terms of the reserves. But his thing was an energy-backed currency, and that's basically what Bitcoin is, which is really kind of freaky and scary. But anyway, I don't know. I don't know what to think of the Space Force thing. When I think of the government, I think they're going to probably be the last ones to actually implement some kind of coin. But we do know the Federal Reserve and big banks, they are working stable coins. They are working CBDCs. So it's definitely on their radar.
Because I found this was based on a 4-page letter that was written to the Department of Defense. And I have it on my screen here. I found it on LinkedIn. They do mention Bitcoin, but I've noticed that the emphasis on this is, like it says here, understanding the importance of proof of work protocols. And later on, they're explaining proof of work. I think they were using Bitcoin as an example, but it's proof of work that they're really trying to push here. So they could create their own coin or just essentially use the protocol, use the technology, but it's not necessarily like a bull flag for Bitcoin per se.
That particular tweet. I mean, either way, it seemed like almost Bitcoin traded pretty heavily on that one. Yeah, but you might be right. So okay, well, I think with that, we probably want to save the rest maybe for tomorrow.
Happy
unless
to do
there's anything urgent. Mostly because we gotta do some catch up around the office here. So why don't we play some outro music? And thank you for watching. If you haven't watched the the Tesla scam part, watch the beginning of the video. That's crazy. Please don't send Bitcoin to that address. And even though I'm a licensed financial advisor, licensed real estate broker, becoming a stockbroker, this video is neither personalized financial nor real estate advice for you. It is not tax, legal, or otherwise personalized advice tailored to you. Any third-party content I show should not be deemed endorsed by me. This video is not and shall never be deemed reasonably sufficient information for the purposes of evaluating a security or investment. Any links or promoted products like StreamYard, metkevin.com/StreamYard, how I bring you my streams, are either paid affiliations or products or services we may benefit from. I personally operate an actively managed ETF and hold long positions in various securities, potentially including those mentioned in this video. However, I have no relationship to any issuers, nor am I presently acting as a market maker. Thanks, everyone, for being here. We'll be back for the podcast tomorrow, same time, right? 4 or 4-ish, something like that.
I'll be here.
All right. We'll see you next time. Bye.